Thank you for watching, and make sure to subscribe for more amazing, entertaining, delightful, great disciple content.
Tell me where the freak's at. Hold up. Hey.
Listen, Miss Holmes, you're suing the Harrises, and you allege that they should refund payments you made to them along with some other damages because they terminated your daycare services without notice, which caused you unnecessary expenses.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Now, Mr. and Mrs. Harris, you deny any liability to the plaintiff, and you allege that due to the misrepresentations, you had a severe loss of business opportunity. You're seeking $5,000 on your cross complaint. All right. Now, Ms. Holmes, state your case, please.
Hello, Judge Joe Brown.
Right?
This has come along.
You do hair braiding. You have a 12-year-old son, a 3-year-old daughter.
Yes, sir.
All right, you enrolled those 2 children in her home-based child care facility. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
In September year last, you alleged that without warning, you were informed that the defendant had dropped you as a client.
Yes, Your Honor. Now,
you say you had to immediately take time off from your hair braiding business to find a new child care provider. Now, a question. Did either of the defendants inform you of this?
No, sir.
Well, how did you learn of this termination of your relationship?
Since I'm low income, I have child action services that is paid by the state, and I was informed by my worker when I called and talked to her because I hadn't been answering or getting calls answered by Sonia Harris.
How long has she not answered your call?
At least 3 days.
And you had to take off from work. Where were your children?
With my mother.
Well, why would they be with your mother such that when she did not return your calls for 3 days, you then learned from a representative of the agency that she had terminated your relationship with her?
I have shown up at the door and there was no answer, sir.
Doesn't that suggest that you weren't regularly taking the children by there?
Actually, sir, I have a variable schedule, which Miss Sonia was aware of. I can work
schedule.
I can work 0 to 7 days a week.
So you had to cancel numerous hair appointments over what period of time?
I believe it was September 26th through the 27th, 28th, around that time.
So in 2 days, you claim you lost a minimum of $500 income in 2 days, and you worked 7 days a week. My goodness, that would be $1,500 bloody dollars in 1 week minimum. Times 4, that's $6,000 a month. And you get public assistance?
No, Your Honor.
Well, then I can do the math. That's what the inference is. So how do you state the basis for the claim of $500?
If you'd like me to start
you want to prove that?
We can drop that part, but I would like to start from the beginning.
Because I'm paying taxes and it looks like welfare fraud to me. And by the way, how do they become liable for $1,579.44 for an ambulance bill?
Because the fire department came to my house and they came and picked me up.
What's that got to do with it? What do they have to do with that?
Because I was under strain and stress from...
You're about to get caught and busted and might be put in jail or federally prosecuted from the looks of things. And by the way, you also want damages for having to get alternative child care, right?
Yes, sir.
How?
Because I had to pay out of my pocket the money that I had been saving from working, from slaving, from braiding hair. It's a hard job.
Excuse me, under the guidelines, all you had to do was submit another claim and they would have taken care of paying for that alternative child care provision. So why would you suffer a loss of income because you couldn't get anybody to take care of your children with the state subsidy?
The child care provider that is a licensed child care provider is the one that charged me the $850.
And how do you afford, you say you paid it, How do you afford to pay your mama $800
I didn't
for
pay my
that
mom
period of
$800.
time when there's some income guidelines that you've already exceeded by your testimony? How does that happen?
Excuse me, sir. Everything that I collect is documented. Everything that I do, I file taxes on it. I've been braiding since 1995.
How much did you claim on your taxes last year?
$14,000.
And you've already claimed that, oh, we're going someplace?
No, I'm having a hard time.
What is your complaint about this? You just out of the blue, they tell you your kids can't come here anymore. No, they don't tell you that. They tell the child care agent entity that she can't bring these kids here.
Correct. After I was leaving numerous messages for her, calling her numerous times.
Well, when did you leave the children there?
I don't have the exact dates, but it was in September around the 20th. And around the 22nd and 23rd, that's when she stopped answering my phone calls.
Why do you think she did that?
After I came to the door. Because I have a variable schedule, and she wants children that are there that's a full-time or a set schedule. So I can call her if someone calls me and asks to get their hair braided and says, I need you right now. Then I will call my child care provider and ask her, can I bring my kids over right now? I was approved from 0 hours or 0 days a week to 7 days a week. So if I didn't have any clients, then I worked 0 days a week. If I had 7 clients 7 days a week, I would work 7 days. So that, with that schedule being variable and the hours being the hours that they were, that I braid up until 3:30 in the morning, maybe it wasn't comfortable for her. I don't know. That's what I'm here for.
Well, my God, who is expecting for somebody to leave a 3-year-old and a 12-year-old till 3 or 4 a.m. in the morning?
A 24-hour daycare provider. That was our agreement, Your Honor. Before I took her as a child care provider, I told her that.
As per my conversation with Ms. Sonia Harris of September 28th of year last, this letter is to confirm that the last day of payment by Child Action Inc. was 9/27/09 for the parent and children listed below.
Correct. And do you see the part where
you have the right to ask families using your services to leave your facility or home for any reason. Now, you tell me your side of things. I want to hear your cross complaint.
Okay.
What's going on here, please?
Judge Brown, I'm countersuing Loran for $5,270.36. And this is for time that was unused in my child care from February of 09 to September of 09. We talked, and she stated that her schedule was a variable schedule, in which I did understand that at the time because we are 24 hours. But I don't think she understood what 24-hour schedule is. I think that as a business owner, as a hair braider, you have to respect people's time. And if she's going to have clients, she need to let her clients know that I have to be on a schedule. So it really didn't go like that. She wouldn't give me a 24-hour notice. She would call me on a whim and say, I'm bringing my kids in. Most of the time, I would actually take her children into my daycare. Now, there was not ever a time that she knocked on my door and I didn't answer my door. There was never a time. I'm not afraid of her. She doesn't have a gun, or, I mean, what am I intimidated by? Why would I not answer my door to either let her know, look, you didn't call me in enough advance, I took a walk-in, so I won't be able to keep your children today. That's just the bottom line of it. So she came to my care from February to May. June and July, she didn't even show up. I don't know what happened to her children during those 2 months. I called Child Action.
Now, you're saying she doesn't even show up for 2 months.
She doesn't even show up. She doesn't call me. There was times, in fact, let me just go push back a little bit.
I live right around the corner.
She wasn't bringing...
Well, you know, it says, hold on, payment will be processed within 10 working days of receipt of attendance form. That's what this is. It's a
Thank
copy.
you very much.
And there is a 2-month absence, excuse me, in this time period where there are no such forms for claim of income. So that seems to corroborate her testimony.
Well, in September, she brought her kids, I think, 2 or 3 times. And at that point, I called Child Action, and I told them that I wasn't going to keep her kids anymore because she wasn't giving me notice. She would actually walk into my daycare with Mariah and sit there for 5 or 10 minutes and then say I'm leaving.
The business that I'm in, I have no control over when I'm going to braid or when I'm going to work, or if somebody gets off at 3:30 in the afternoon and needs their hair braided and it's going to take 12 hours and I'm done at 3:30. That's why I fought for the time at Child Action for me to get those hours approved, that I can start from the salon that I work through from 9:30 in the morning to 3:30 in the morning. I can take an appointment anytime throughout that day.
She doesn't even have a business license. I checked. She has no business license.
I work for Amici Salon, ma'am. They have a business license.
That you do it at your home?
I do it all over the place.
Now, you've provided the documentation that you had numerous requests from others to provide child care services, but you had to turn them down because she had represented that she was coming by.
Right.
But
And I can't.
the agreement you have with them is until you terminate the relationship, you have to keep that slot open.
Right.
So it's like you got to get totally discommoded because
Absolutely.
she's got variable hours
Right.
that are without any notice at all. You know,
Exactly.
I got to bring the kid down there and then don't show up.
Right.
So your complaint's denied. I'm granting your cross
Okay.
complaint $4,680 in your cost.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Graham, whom you characterize as your ex-boyfriend, for $2,692.
Right.
You first.
The defendant, Mark, and I have been friends for about 9 years. We dated for about 2 to 3 years, but things didn't work out, but we've always remained friends. Back in 2007, he wanted to move out into an apartment. Back then he had bad credit, so I signed for a lease back in 2007 for him. Then he handled all of his responsibilities. He paid his rent in full for the duration of the year. Everything went smooth. He moved out with a girlfriend. In 2009, May of 2009, he and his girlfriend were having problems, and he decided he wanted to move out, so he asked if he could stay with me for just a few months until he got himself together, got on his feet. So I agreed, didn't ask for anything at all. He stayed on my couch for about a month and a half. At the end of June, he decided he found himself an apartment and asked if I would sign the lease for him again. Because he showed himself as a responsible person back in 2007, I agreed to sign the lease. Granted, he paid all costs associated with the apartment. August.
Did you stay there with him?
No, I never stayed. Not one day.
So
I know,
he's...
Your Honor, she was pretty much
I
dead.
never stayed there.
Like a honeycomb hideout, Your Honor.
I own a home. I never stay there. I live in my home, and that's
So
it.
in other words, this wasn't your legal residence. You had
no.
other real property, a home
Right.
that you were purchasing. There was a
That's
mortgage
right.
on it?
Yes, it's a
All right,
mortgage.
you were acquiring equity and paying off the interest. Okay.
That's right.
So, hot situation, you hung out over there. But
Hot situation, Your Honor.
No, I never hung out over there.
But that doesn't make her a tenant.
Makes it hot situation, though.
That's
Your Honor.
all right. You can have hot situations all you want.
Okay.
About hot situations, and what do you call it? Honeycomb hideout?
Honeycomb hideout. Hot situation.
Well, guess what? You simply seem to be a subtenant authorized as an adult occupant. So she's your landlady.
And also the leaseholder, Your Honor.
But it was a verbal
Well,
agreement.
she's your landlady. You're staying there. You pay the rent. That creates a common law lease, which...
No, Your Honor, I paid all the rent. I don't pay some of anything.
Well, there's a delinquency showing. So you moved out, and you decided to leave Honeycomb Hideout. She wants her cash from you, $2,692.
Basically,
All right, you signed the lease. I've got a copy of it.
That's right.
He's authorized as an adult occupant on the lease.
Exactly.
Okay.
So back in August 6th, I spoke to him about the rent. Then he told me he had found a house and he wanted to move out. But I asked him, was the rent taken care of? He said, I had taken care of everything. On August 10th,
No, I didn't tell I was taking care of
Will
anything.
you stop? Keep it in your head, and then I'll let you talk about it when it gets to you.
Yes, Your Honor.
Now, go on.
So on August 10th, I called to check on everything, and the rental company tells me that August rent has not been paid, and at this point, I'm shocked. I'm like, okay, what's going on? So I call Mark, I'm confused. I'm like, what's going on? He tells me that, well, he's going to take care of it, and for me to, at that point, see what he needs to do to buy out of this lease. So I contact the rental company, and they said, well, you have to pay 2 months of rent. They had prorated a few fees, like administrative costs, fees of that nature, and I had to pay all of those back, concession fees. Everything had to be paid back, and also the August rent had to be paid. So at this point, I'm asking Mark, you know, you need to pay this money that's owed if you want to buy the lease, because at the time he told me he was going to keep both his house and the apartment. And so that's basically it. I feel he does owe the money. I never paid $1 towards this apartment or anything regarding the apartment. I never paid anything. He paid the deposit. He paid the first month's rent.
No, but they're coming after you because you took it out.
That's right, and I do take my credit very seriously. So in order for my credit to remain in great standing, I had to take care of that. But he does owe me for that because that was his.
So you're seeking how much?
I just want to give you everything. It's $522.92 for the August rent, $2,169 for the break of the lease. And that included the eviction fees.
Have you done that yet, or are you seeking that so you
No,
can
I've paid everything, and I have the receipts here.
You've broken the lease?
Yes, everything's taken care of.
Let us go now to the defendant. Now, young man, you have the floor.
Okay. First off, you know, I was never sleeping on the couch, Your Honor. Okay, at her place.
Yes, you did.
You know?
Don't interrupt.
I'm not a couch sleeper. Anyway, she is a close friend, however. We've been knowing each other for about 9-some-odd years. Very dear to me, okay? And always been...
I'd hate to be one of your enemies and be subject to your
I definitely would too. But as I was saying, very dear friend to me, and I've always been a responsible individual. She knows that. That's why. Yes. Yes, sir. Reason why I couldn't get the apartment is because I'm a convicted felon.
Yes, you have an
okay,
interesting
and
rap
the whole
sheet
world
I'm
knows
looking
that
at
I do
here.
have a rap sheet. It's my past, but anyway, Your Honor, she signs the lease. About 3 weeks on out, I found a 3-bedroom house. You know, more room. I got the house. 3 weeks into this lease, I figured, you know, we can end this lease. Okay, she procrastinated a little bit.
Wait. It's her fault.
In a sense, Your Honor. Yes.
So the point is what happens if management says, nah, we'll just let it roll.
That's
Either
what
you
they
pay
did.
the monthly lease payment or we'll take you to court.
That's what they did. That's exactly what they did, and I warned her of that, Your Honor.
Well,
but she didn't listen.
Well, I think she had affection for you and she's trying to help you out. So after doing that, you decide to say, or what you're actually saying is, why was she stupid enough to trust unreliable, trifling me?
No, not at all, Your Honor. That's never been the case, nor is that the case now. Okay, at the time, due to the rent, when she didn't go, she procrastinated to go. She demanded $585 out my wallet. And at the time of this recession, it's kind of hard. We have ups and downs. And at the time she's demanding of this money, I did not.
But it's hard on everybody.
Yes, exactly, sir. So I told her, worst case scenario, we go to court. Okay,
worst case scenario, you mean she gets taken to court by the management?
No, I said we go.
You aren't on this lease.
I'm gonna go with it anyway, so, Your Honor, a little support, right?
That's what he told me. He said that worst case scenario we would go together, but like I told him, they were not looking for him. They were looking for me to pay
I know. He's not even on the lease except as an authorized adult occupant.
Friend.
You're on the lease. Where do you get this we stuff?
Well, I could have been like Tonto, right? What you mean we? You signed the lease.
But it's for you.
But right now, that's like, you know what a pigeon drop is?
I've seen it.
You've seen it.
On my windshield. Yeah.
No, you don't even know what a pigeon drop is.
Okay.
A pigeon drop is a con. The interesting thing about a pigeon drop is you can't run a pigeon drop con on an honest man. And the dishonest person thinks he's so slick, he doesn't realize that somebody slightly slicker is running a con game on him.
What does that have to do with this case, Your Honor?
Because you're making me laugh. I'm trying to not snicker and start laughing out loud. Man, I am working on every skill I got, Zen and otherwise, to keep from busting out laughing at you. He's giving me a con, and the law allows the trier of fact, once it becomes knowledgeable of not just arrest, but of convictions, for felonies for most states, and in particular crimes of moral turpitude, to touch on the credibility of the witness, if not outright impeaching him.
What about change, Your Honor?
Excuse me, we don't have change because I think you're still probably on parole or probation.
Not at all, Your Honor. I'm a clean man. Been clean for the last 5 years.
I don't have to believe you. 5 years, my foot.
5 years. 04 last conviction, Your Honor.
Well, you have, let's see, 2.5 years ago.
What about now, Your Honor?
Conversion of property. Oh, that's 2.5 years ago.
That wasn't me, Your Honor.
Oh, yes, it was.
Facts right. That wasn't me.
We have forgery. Oh, let's see. We can keep going. That's just page 15.
What about the kid functions I threw, Your Honor?
That's just page 15.
What about
we haven't even got up to 23.
Your Honor?
Here we go with another forgery, and it's altering forged paper.
Half of that's not me.
Oh, I bet. Forgery of an instrument.
What does that have to do with today, Your
Vehicular
Honor?
homicide. Let's go on that one. Oh, you killed somebody by accident, negligence. You couldn't even do it on purpose. Oh, you couldn't even show up to take care of your business. When are you going to stop procrastinating about being a productive man in life and get on with the business?
I'm very productive, Your Honor. Very. I'm the cream of the crop.
She had a J.O.B. You'll do better. So anyway, bottom line of this, $26.92, and there's another $181 in interest you didn't put on top of this. So
thank you, Judge.
Man, you can do a lot better.
Actually bought all that stuff she got on, Your Honor.
I did, with my hard-earned money.
Working for a major corporate entity as a manager. Done deal. So bottom line is $2,873 in your court costs. Do better next time.
Thank you.
Courtroom is now in.
All right, Ms. Jackson, you are suing Ms. Brubaker for $2,500 for breach of contract and bodily damage, bodily harm?
Yes.
All right, and how do you know this defendant?
I know her because she works at the salon. She owns a salon, and I came in for an emergency fill, and we started talking. We became
emergency fill, is that on your nails?
On my nails, yes.
Okay.
On my nails.
How long have you been working with her, ma'am?
She's been coming to my salon about 1.5 years.
Okay. All right. So you come on a regular basis or every now and then?
Yes, I do. I come at least once a week.
Okay. For what?
Just for like a facial or to get my hair done or to get my nails done.
So it's a full-service salon?
Yes, it is.
All right. So why are we here?
We're here because I have saggy boobs.
Because you have sagging breasts?
Yes, sagging breasts.
Let me explain. I have a doctor that comes in twice a week. There is a new procedure called breast implants.
Well, how long have you been doing this procedure?
For 6 months. I don't do it. It's a doctor. He comes in on Thursdays and Fridays. It's $2,500, and what it is, it's for people that want to try having a little bit larger of boobs, and it takes 20 minutes. And what they do is he rubs a little numbing cream on the breast, and he injects about 200 cc's of saline in the patient, and they can go right back to work.
Is that the lunchtime lift? My understanding is that it was designed by a doctor in New York City, and it's he calls it the lunchtime lift. And he injects anesthesia-line saline solution into the breast, and it gives the illusion that you've had a breast lift, a breast implant.
But it lasts about 24 to 48 hours.
24 to 48 hours.
And then, and then they can see if they like that. And a
lot of women do it to see how they would feel about having some sort of breast enhancement surgery, which I read that 75% of women who have it end up having actual breast surgery.
Yeah. Well, it's been I have been booked solid for 6 months. She's been dying to have it, been talking about it, and we had a cancellation on a day, and she got it done, and she wasn't happy with what happened.
Did you want it? Had you been talking about having it done?
No, I did not want this procedure. I wanted to actually get my breasts done, but I didn't actually want this procedure.
Right. So, well, then how did you end up having this procedure then?
Well, I was really tipsy. She gave me 4 glasses of champagne.
I offer champagne.
Wait. Stop. When you go into the salon, when you have customers that come in, you offer champagne to them?
They order it and they pay for it.
They pay for it?
Yes.
So did you order champagne?
Yes, I did.
And did you pay for it?
Yes, I did.
Okay,
but
so you were drinking champagne.
yes.
But she ordered it and she drank it and...
Coming up.
My concern is that you are So tell me how this conversation came up about the lunchtime lift.
I can tell you.
I told her there was a cancellation. She was just ecstatic and she was like, let me go, let me go, let me go. And I said, okay.
Let me see what paperwork she filled out to have this medical procedure done.
The doctor has that.
You better have it. You better have it.
Well, the doctor did it. He has it, but I have his license.
I don't need to see his license. I want to see what paperwork she filled out.
He wouldn't give it to me. It's because it was his thing, but I have his license.
Let me see your bill of sale. Who did you pay for the procedure?
I paid her.
And I have my...
Ma'am, you're telling me that you weren't paid for this, but a doctor was paid?
Yeah.
No,
I get 10% back later at the end of the
salon. I did not
What's
pay
the
the
name
doctor.
of the salon? You did not pay the salon, you paid the doctor.
Ma'am, what's the name of the salon? Whole Body Spa.
Yeah.
$2,500 to Whole Body Spa.
And then it goes to the doctor.
Okay, well, I don't care where it goes after that, but the contract was with you because you took her money. And it happened in your facility, right?
Yeah.
My concern is that you are operating basically a medical service out of this spa shop. I don't see the paperwork. People have to sign waivers. Where are the waivers?
The doctor has them.
Judge Karen's...
Normally, I probably, because she said she knew what she was doing, I probably would rule against her. But in this case, I'm really concerned, and actually I'm going to call the health department when I go back in chambers. I am concerned that you're providing medical services in this facility of yours, and you don't have any paperwork, and you put it on a doctor, and you said it's really not me. I just take this money. I take $2,500, I keep $250, and give the rest to the doctor.
So I need to get the doctor needs to, I need to have paperwork at home, at my salon.
Your doctor needs to be doing this on his own, and you should get it out of your salon.
Okay.
Because it's a medical procedure.
Okay, I understand.
I wish you the best of luck. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $2,500.
Judge Karen has ruled in favor of the plaintiff. The defendant is ordered to pay $2,500.
Day, ladies and gentlemen, I'm here today with Ashley Rose and Dorian Rose. Mr. and Mrs. Rose, you have been married for 3.5 years and you have one child together. You do not, however, want to be married anymore. Both of you have a suit against one another for financial issues that I will resolve momentarily. But before we get there, Mrs. Rose, I'm going to start with you. Why don't you tell me a little bit about your marriage and why we're here in divorce court today?
I am married to a rapper, like a bummy rapper at that. He don't have no money. He always has something to say about me spending. He gets upset because I buy purses, bags, shoes, hair, makeup, whatever it is I want. And I feel like he always has something to say about it, and I'm angry about it. Like, I'm not going to stop.
You're not going to stop. Do you make all the money in your relationship?
I'm somewhat, yeah.
Somewhat. How does one somewhat make all the money in a relationship?
I make the majority of it.
You make the majority of the money as a hairstylist?
Yes.
You gonna get on here lying?
I'm not lying.
Mr. Rose, what is your view on that? Do you have a job?
Yes, ma'am. How am I a bummy rapper? I'm the only one with the job, and she the one with a shopping problem, Your Honor. How can I be the bummy one when she don't have a job? I don't know what job she on here telling y'all about.
Well, she said she had a job doing hair.
That's not a job. That means your homegirl coming to get her hair done for $50.
But he's buying cigarettes.
Don't get me wrong. She can do some hair, but that ain't no job. My job is full-time. I work 40 hours. I work for the Universal Circus. I'm a traveling inventory specialist.
I've been to the Universal Circus.
I travel all around the country.
What do you do?
I sell merchandise. I do something. I might not juggle in the circus, man, but I'm in charge of all the
They need people to handle stuff. And
all the merchandise that's sold, T-shirts, teddy bears, elephants, lions, tigers.
It's all you.
I sell all that.
Does he bring money home?
I mean, a little something. I mean, I feel like we both bring something in, but he feel like his is better than what I bring in, and it's not. I feel like I work hard for mine. Like, I'm showing talent. Like, when women walk away, they happy. So, yeah, I'm going to be happy, too.
Okay. You say she has a spending problem, which she, for the most part, admitted to in the beginning.
It's not a problem.
It's not a problem?
No.
He seems to think it's a problem.
He thinks it's a problem.
Why do you think her spending is a problem?
Ask her what happened to our apartment, why our rent wasn't paid. That's why I think it's a problem, because our rent's not getting paid on time because she want to go to the mall and buy who knows what.
But his check was the one that was short. So, yeah, I made some money and he made some too. I'll say that. But, no, he's not going to put it all off on me. He's the man. He's the provider.
That weed right there cost $700, Your Honor. We had $1,000 in rent to pay, and she wanted to buy $700
worth of hair.
That's
of somebody else's hair.
That's a $700 head you looking at right now.
Let me say this, Your Honor. I'm not really big on name brands. I do like to buy name brand things. I'm small. I'm petite. Like, a lot of the stuff that I get doesn't really cost a lot.
You know, they don't charge less for the small because it's the smallest. That's just silly.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I mean, whether you were 4 or 6 or 8, it all costs the same. So don't try to sell that to me.
Now, here go up.
You say that she lies. What does she lie about?
Where she been at? She might leave the house after an argument, tell me, I ain't go nowhere. I just went to the park for a walk real quick. And then her and my daughter been gone all day. I asked her where you and mommy was. The store? How y'all been at the store? I thought you was at the park.
I mean, but I feel like if we're in an argument, why do you need to know where I'm going? Like, why are you worried about where I'm going?
So who was that dude called you at 4 a.m. the other night after you went to the club?
Your Honor,
who's that dude that called you at 4 a.m. the other night after you left the club?
I had the same question. I don't know who he is. I gave him my number because I thought that he was going to be able to help as far, okay, he is a musician, he's a rapper. So, you know, when I meet people, I just keep the contact, and I don't think that they're going to call me back and say, oh, well, you know, like, they want to hook up. No, I make it very clear that I'm married.
You say your wife doesn't have any faith in you?
No faith in
as a musician?
No faith in me. She used to have faith when she seen I did have a little record deal going on. Then she saw that tank, and I stopped doing the music after my daughter was born to focus on being a parent. I couldn't go full-time with it anymore. She saw a little music video we did not too long ago. I guess she got mad about it because it was at the strip club. But, hey, that's the kind of music I got to make.
Don't say that I got mad because it was at the strip club. Okay, he has a group mate. His group mate didn't have no naked stripper bouncing around her butt, clapping all over the place. He's the one that's married. He should have objected to that, but he seemed like he was all for it. Like, oh, he's throwing money, but he don't want to support my shopping habit, but he's throwing money.
It's the entertainment.
That was a music video. It was probably fake money.
Well,
it wasn't fake money, Your Honor. It was definitely not fake money.
Did you pick it up after you threw it?
Absolutely. I absolutely did. I'm cheap. I'm going to pick my money up.
There you go.
She going to spend it all.
Don't you have to show him some respect for putting his dream on hold when the baby came, because he's got to be 24/7 on the job, bringing in steady money? Can't you respect him for that?
And I do respect him for that, Your Honor, but I feel like he still got to make a living. You can't stop doing what you're doing. I mean, even if it's bringing $20 in, I'm not going to stop doing hair, Your Honor.
We hanging out. We just spending some personal time. I got to watch her the whole time we hanging out. She on her phone. I can't even get no eye contact. I might be trying to look sexy or something for her. I can't even get her to look me in my face.
Are you spending more time on your e-life when you got a real life right there looking at you, wanting you, and you're not paying attention to it?
Absolutely. Maybe. But, ma'am, he's on the phone just as much as I'm on the phone. He broke his phone because he's irresponsible, and he broke mine too. We'll get to that, but he's irresponsible. So, I feel like I should be on the phone. I paid for it.
You paid for it?
Well, let's. I think everybody should stay off the phone a little more. I mean, I think it's kind of taking up all our time. We lack empathy. There's no physicality, and it's messy. But Mr. Rose, you said in your papers that you think everything got worse between you and your wife after the baby came. Why did you say that?
Her insecurity level just went from, she was the most confident woman I ever met, most beautiful, confident woman in the world to me. And then she had a baby, put on a little weight, whatever the case.
A little weight, Your Honor. When we got pregnant with Sasha.
Hold on, I thought it was my turn to talk. I thought we was talking about what happened after.
Yeah, hang on, Ms. Rose. Let Mr. Rose finish.
Okay, after the baby was born, she did change a little bit, and I was still very supportive of her. She was still beautiful in my eyes, but it wasn't good enough to hear from me. She wanted to go hear from all these other girls and her friends and her little homeboys, whoever she got in the club with her little clique that they went to the club with out there. It was just better to hear from them than to hear from me, so.
What is your response to that, Mrs. Rose?
I feel like, okay, when me and DJ got pregnant, I'm small. I'm only 5 foot. I weighed about 93 pounds.
Right.
Okay, when I gave birth, right before I pushed her out, I weighed 122 pounds, Your Honor.
That's nothing.
No, that's nothing. No, you're right. That's nothing. Okay, after I had her, I weighed 114 pounds, Your Honor. Then I got on birth control and went to 150. Like, I was walking around looking like a Oompa Loompa. And he didn't even understand that. Like, he wasn't sensitive to the fact. He's saying, oh, you're beautiful. Yeah, like, beautiful and, like, obese. Like a step away from being obese.
See what I got to deal with? She thinks.
Well, you know, women get funny about their weight. And when you're used to being a certain size and you get bigger and everybody, you know, it's an issue.
It was never an issue with me, Your Honor. I always loved her.
You say the two of you don't trust each other. Is that true?
I don't trust anybody, Your Honor. It's an open door policy, Your Honor.
What's an open door policy?
I don't have a gun to her head telling her to stay there. If you want to leave and go out till 4 in the morning and have guys call your phone and do whatever you want to do at the mall and all that, you could leave. You don't have to stay here where I'm trying to live my life like this. You don't have to live by my rules.
Do you believe she is fooling around on you?
Are you?
No. I'm going to ask her if she is or not a little later on. Right now, I want to know what you believe. What do you think is going on?
Your Honor, I think if it's about some money and she can get some money from somebody, I think she will. I'm not going to put nothing past her. I think she will step out on me. I'm not saying I have any proof. I haven't caught her doing anything yet, but I think so.
Let's tell about what happened with your ex.
What happened with his ex?
Okay, Your Honor. Okay, this female has been coming around every 3 months trying to make it known that she still love him and want to be with him and all this stuff like that, blase, blase. So me and him ended up breaking up for 6 months because of my insecurities, the ones that he said that he was there for, right? But yeah, we broke up for 6 months, and he went and started talking to her or whatever the case was. He said it was to get back at me. But
did you hook up with an ex while you two were on a break?
Yes.
Okay.
I told her, though, and I admitted it to her right after.
That ain't how you said you told me. Like, you just came out and told me I had to act a fool.
Did she act a fool?
She acted a fool, Your Honor. She acted a fool all the time.
She hooping and hollering.
She ready to act a fool now. Look at her face.
Got you, Mrs. Rose. You got to learn how to handle money. You got to learn that. Oh, no. You're not defined by how you look. You're not defined by how long your hair is. You're not defined by the labels on your shoes or your purses or your clothes. You're not defined by how many clothes you have. You're defined by what a secure life you give your children, where you're going in life, what you're doing for your husband, what you're doing. You know, all the rest of this blingy bling stuff. It doesn't mean anything. You're all, you know, everybody's all blinged out. Can't think, don't know anything, have nowhere to go. I mean, you do hair, it's a great profession. You could make a lot of money if you worked hard at it. But, you know, you're just working when you have to, when you can, and you're wasting your money. Mr. Rose, I don't know what's up with you. I like your hair.
Appreciate it.
It's different. I think you're a good guy. I think you're a good guy, and I think you're going to be good to your daughter. I don't think you two are going to leave one another. I am not going to exchange funds between two silly people who are going to go home laughing and giggling anyway. So I don't know if he gave you any money for the phone back or not, but I'm not giving you a thing. There will be no recovery in this matter. It is so ordered.
Wright is suing his ex-wife, Jessica Fallon, for $4,000 he claims she fraudulently obtained from him.
What happened, Mr. Wright?
Well, Your Honor, I was obviously framed by this woman, Jessica. We met in San Diego. She gave me the story of her life. I felt compassionate for her. She was a divorced mother of 3, and her kids were with her mother in Seattle. She wasn't able to see them. She was about to come into an inheritance of a couple $1,000s, I suppose, that would enable her to go and see her kids. So
that's what she told you.
That's what she told me, and
that's
basically,
what you believed.
And that's what I don't believe anymore, but that's what I believed. She said that her grandfather was going to give her her inheritance, but she had to be married by her 30th birthday. Obviously, her 30th birthday was weeks away from the time that we met. So I, being the sensible, nice guy that I am, you know, we started talking.
You just jumped on the cash, right?
We started talking, Your Honor, and I initially did fall in love with her. It was, in fact, love. Weeks and months passed, no inheritance.
You were married for how long at this
6
point?
months. So we were married. At this time, no inheritance has shown up, Your Honor. No inheritance. I asked her about it once, and she flipped out.
Once. It was like every
I asked her
single
about
day
it
for
once,
a
Your
month.
Honor. She
Ms. Fallon.
Sorry, Your Honor.
Please control yourself.
So we had a celebration. I asked her about this inheritance, and she blew up, as if, you know, I had just asked her if she was having an affair. Later on, a few weeks pass, and I see every time she goes into her wallet, I see different credit cards, different ID cards. And I'm thinking, okay, she lives in different areas, so she may just need these different identification cards. So one night I actually go to investigate. I open her wallet and I see matching identification cards with credit cards, her picture but different names. So it would be about like a fold out of about 10 different IDs, and then on the back of that would be credit cards. And so I asked her about that, and she obviously went ballistic
Well, you
yet
shouldn't
again.
really be going through my stuff.
If she was my wife, Your Honor, I think I would have the
Doesn't give
right.
you the right to look through my things.
I realized I really don't know this woman. I don't know her at all. So I told her I want a divorce. I want a divorce or an annulment, and she said that she would take care of it while I was deployed. Of course she didn't do that.
What do you mean deployed? Deployed
I had to go to Afghanistan again. So I told her that I was going to be gone for 4 months.
And you're in which part of the
I'm in the Air
armed
Force.
services?
I'm an Air Force mechanic supervisor. I was gone for 4 months. She never took care of the annulment. She never took care of the divorce. In fact, I come back to find out she had written bad checks on my account worth about $4,000. And that's what I'm here to retain today.
All right. It is now your time, Ms. Fallon, to state your case.
Yeah, he was very charming, and he manipulated me into marrying him for my inheritance money, which I was due to get from my grandfather.
How did he manipulate you into marrying him? Help me to understand that, please.
Well, I was very vulnerable. I just come out of a very abusive relationship.
Your Honor, she never told me about any abuse
Yeah, of
within
course
our
I didn't want
marriage.
to tell you about that. Who wants to go and tell the whole world that they were abused, that they were beaten up and pushed downstairs and
Well, you
things
would
like
tell your
that?
current husband.
Excuse me.
Okay, sorry, Your Honor.
Mr. Wright.
Thank you.
I apologize.
So, you know, he was very charming. I was vulnerable. I needed a little bit of support. I didn't have anyone at the time. And he said, you know, if you want to get this inheritance, like, let's just get married. This would benefit you in so many ways. You can get your children back, which is what I want so badly. And so I just tried to do what any good mother would do. I married him. We had a great marriage. He was a great husband, and I started to actually fall in love with him. And everything was actually fine at the start of the marriage. Then a couple of weeks into it, he started asking about this inheritance, and I said, well, you know, it can take a few years to settle. I'm not going to necessarily get it straight away. The checks that I wrote, it's not like I went shopping. I had to pay the bills, I had to pay rent, I had to maintain our car. It was going to just living.
Plaintiff?
As to the bad checks that she wrote, and she says that we were married, I just said when I left, I told her that we are getting divorced. She was supposed to take care of the divorced papers and documents and payments. So how can she say that we're married and that my money is hers when I said we're getting divorced?
Do you have any witnesses?
I actually do have a witness, Your Honor, who also has gone through the exact same thing that I'm here for today.
The same thing?
The same exact thing.
Well, I think you should call your witness. The court
Mr.
would be
Lester
interested
Pierce
in
is
this.
here.
Is this your witness?
Yes.
State your name, please.
My name is Lester Pierce, ma'am, a staff sergeant in the United States Marine Corps. I met Jessica.
Okay, before we go any further, do you know Mr. Pierce?
No, I don't know him.
You've never met him?
I've never met him.
All right, Mr. Pierce, please continue.
I met her at a grocery store and fell in love very first time I saw her. We moved rather quickly, and within a few weeks, we eloped to Las Vegas and got married.
What's the relevance of the fact that you used to be married?
I came across her profile a few months ago, and on her profile it said that she was married to a Christopher Wright.
So what's wrong with that?
I am not Christopher Wright.
And coming up,
When you say my wife,
we never got divorced, ma'am. We were never annulled.
say that again, please.
We were never divorced.
Your Honor,
with the case of Christopher Wright, who's suing his ex-wife Jessica Fallon for funds he says she fraudulently obtained from him.
When you say my wife,
We never got divorced, ma'am. We were never annulled.
say that again, please.
We were never divorced.
Your Honor, I escaped.
You were never divorced.
No. And since then, we've also heard of other stories of her doing this to other men.
You mean
she has a
being
thing for men.
married to more than one man at one time, or just the checks?
Both, Your Honor.
Both?
And I have proof of that as well.
What is your proof?
I have letters here from 2 different men. One, his name is Rick Thornburg, and the other, Jesus de Gallo. One is saying she stole $8,000. The other guy is saying she blew out his whole account and that she vanished, and that he also is a victim, if you'd like to.
Well, were they also married to her at the time?
Yes.
They both were?
Yes.
Do you know whether they are still married to her? Thank you, Brian.
I don't, Your Honor.
Okay. All right, I'm looking at an affidavit from Jesus de Gallo that says that Jessica Fallon stole my heart and over $8,000 from me. I want my money back. I guess he still has his heart intact. She is such a horrible person. That's all I have to say, Jesus de Gallo. There's another one, an affidavit from Rick Thornburg, statement Jessica Fallon, or whatever the hell her name is. At any rate, Jessica is a lying, cheating swindler. I was left with a blown-out bank account. This woman should have hard jail time. Please allow justice to be served, Rick Thornburg. Well, I've read and received this into
pull that off Google or
into
something? Did you type
consideration,
it
but
up?
I'm
I
not
don't know
going
what
to
these
be
men
able
are.
to
I don't have to
actually
pull anything
put
off
this into evidence because they're not signed affidavits.
Yeah.
All right.
Well,
now
I do have a signed letter here from her mother saying that she is a sociopath, she's crazy, and that she does have
ridiculous.
a long history of manipulation since she was a child.
that is-
And it's actually
Are
been
you
proven by a
serious?
psychologist.
Her own mother?
Her own, Betty Jones, her signed.
My mother looks after
Here
my
you go.
children. Why would she
Signed.
write that about me?
All right, this is a signed affidavit from one Betty Jones, and she says, Your Honor, my name is Betty Jones. I am the mother of the defendant, Jessica Fallon. Your Honor, she is sick. She is a sociopath. This is not just my opinion. It is the opinion of several psychologists that I took her to when she was growing up. Some of her symptoms are textbook examples of sociopathic behaviors. It is very clear that my daughter needs help. And I do think the law needs to be involved for her to get the help that she needs. Respectfully, Betty Jones. I'm ready to rule. This is an issue for family court because you are still married. So the issue of the checks, who owes who, how much, and who is married to whom, and who is divorced from whom, and who was separated from whom, has to be decided by another court. I will have to say that there is no jurisdiction of this court. That means no power of this court to decide anything, and that is my decision.
All rise.